firstly, your initial thoughts, reaction?
Obviously disappointed in the result, but I was really proud of the effort. Obviously, Canberra have been very good this year and they're in first spot for a reason. So, we felt as though we set the game up pretty well and we led after, 50 minutes or 55 minutes, whatever it was. And so we did plenty of good things. We just weren't good enough tonight to finish it off in that second half. But there's a ton of effort and, we keep turning up with that sort of effort. Same as last week, things will go our way.
You talked about starting strong. I think it was like Turbo's first tries in the first 4 minutes. It looked so quick, the attack. Like it really felt like there was some sort of spark. Did you feel like that in the coach's box as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as I said, half-time we thought we'd set the game up pretty good, although we were down on the scoreboard by 4 points. We did a lot of good things in the first half. We started really strongly, and it was built off the back of that fast start. Yeah, we just weren't good enough to do it for long periods, and we gave them some leg outs. I think we gave away 4 penalties, and that gave Raiders field position. They were able to capitalise.
Where did you feel the improvements are from last week to this week in terms of, it's still lost, but where did you feel the improvements were for you tonight that you were happy and pleased, that gives you some hope moving forward?
Oh, I just looked at our effort for each other. We worked really hard, with regards to our kick chase, and we really suffocated them there for long periods of time. We were making Fogarty kick from inside his 40 for a lot of their sets. But as I said, the thing that we weren't good enough was just a little bit of accuracy in our attack down, attacking their line, and then we gave, as I said, I think it was 4 yardage penalties, which gave them field position, and they were able to capitalise. And when you're playing against the team that's sitting first and a really consistent side like the Raiders, you got to be squeaky clean with your discipline, and you need to take your opportunities. So, but we had a red hot crack, and we're really disappointed with the result. There's no doubt about it. But look, there was a ton of effort.
Daly, how did you feel the attack was tonight? Do you agree with just the execution and some things? Did it feel like it was on at the start and then wasn't quite at the end?
Yeah, that's the best way to explain it. There was a lot of opportunity and we couldn't execute it. We just couldn't get it right. So, we've got a bit to work on this week. We've got a long turnaround, so we're going to have plenty of time to get reps in at training and work on that. Steve said there's a ton of effort there, but in this NRL, effort's just not going to be enough. So we need to bring that effort next week and then refine our game. Still plenty of confidence within the group. Still a lot of good players in this team. So we need to dust ourselves off. We've got a long turnaround, as I've mentioned. So it's time to recharge and get ready for these final 4 games and really go after them. So really important time of the season for us, obviously. And this rest has come at a good time to regroup.
Ethan Bullimore, he was really how impressed were you with what he was putting out there? It was incredible metres.
Yeah, gave us great impact off the bench. So I think that 40-minute spell of his, probably got close to the line maybe 2 or 3 times there. But he just gave us great impact through the middle of the park, created some momentum for the boys to play off the back of, and I thought he certainly added to us tonight.
Concerning scenes with Jake. That's his 3rd concussion. It's hard to watch. Yeah, no,
really, it is hard to watch. He cared so much about the team, and Josh Papali's one of the biggest players in the competition, and Jakey goes down there and he's trying to turn the tide for us, and the good thing is he's sitting up inside there, but it's Category 1, so he'll definitely miss next week. As you said, I think that might be the 3rd one this season. It's really, it's really disappointing for him and us, and we're already missing, I think, 6 or 7 of our forwards at the moment, and so Jake won't play next week. That's for sure.
As you mentioned, you guys have been rocked by injuries as of late. How do you sort of adapt to losing those big bodies like Jake and Hamole?
Yeah, well, we've got the guys who I thought, Michael Cheekham for his first game in first grade this year, for someone like that who's been playing second grade all year, he worked really hard. And Aaron Schott played his first game this year, so you had 2 guys playing their first game. And, we keep giving those guys opportunities. Ethan Bullimore had to play longer minutes tonight, and as Eloise said, he was outstanding off the bench for us. So it just means other guys have to pick up the load. Jazz Tavunga was on crutches 6 days ago and didn't train all week. and gets out of bed and plays the minutes he had to play there. And we didn't think he'd play, but we just got to keep dusting ourselves off, and it's not an excuse. We thought we were in a position to win the game tonight, and ultimately we weren't quite good enough.
Javon heard a pop in his hip last week, so what was the injury in the end of that to turn around like that?
He's got a strain there, so he didn't train all week. We couldn't play him at 9 because he couldn't bend over, but that's the effort that we got in the group. People don't see that. He literally was on crutches for about 3 or 4 days, and then he doesn't train other than a little fitness test yesterday back in Sydney. And, wants to compete hard for the boys, and we've got as I said, we've got a good group there, and they care about it. We're disappointed. It's 3 losses in a row after a great victory over Melbourne and 3 wins in a row.
Harry, played on bigger stages. How good do you see this Raiders team being?
Yeah, they've had a fantastic season, and as Steve's mentioned, they sit first for a reason. We played them in round 3 this year, and can definitely see the growth in them from round 3 this year. So, I'm sure they'll be really confident going in the finals this year, and I'm sure they're proud of their work so far. They've played really well.
How far do you think they can go?
I don't know. We're still trying to worry about getting there. They're obviously well and truly sewn up a finals berth and a potentially top 2 berth, and that's great, but the reality is we can't look around anywhere else. We have to be so focused on what's ahead. As I said, we've got a long turnaround to freshen up, and our priority is the last 4 games and making it count. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.